today's video, instead of doing 4 looks, 1 palette, I'm going to be doing 4 palettes, 1 look. So taking 1 look and trying to recreate it with 4 different palettes. Let's see how we go. So it's inspired off a look I did a couple of weeks ago, which was originally with the Subculture palette. So I think I'm going to start with this one. So I'm pretty sure I started off with the shade Roxy all over the lid. Now I know a lot of people have struggled with this palette and it is extremely pigmented, but I tend to do pretty simple looks, so it's kind of hard to mess up when you're only using 2 or 3 colours. Pretty sure I put this on the lower lash line as well. Now this is just a pretty simple look that I'm trying to recreate, but the point is to show that you don't need the palette that everyone else has to create the look that you want. You can just use the colours that you have within your own collection. So now I'm going to take probably my favourite shade in the palette. I know a lot of people have struggled with it, but Electric, it's beautiful. I'm really obsessed with these like greeny, shimmery gold, whatever you want to call it. They're so pretty. Now I just use my finger and I just tap it on there. Now this eye is a little bit more hooded than the other one, so I usually have to bring it up just that little bit higher so that when I look straight you can still see the shimmer where it should be. I'm trying to remember which colour I used for the outer edge. I'm pretty sure I used All Star. Now for these darker shades in here I used the brush that comes with the palette. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think it's kind of perfect for what I use it for. So I just tap it in there like the tiniest little bit. And because I'm so pale, dark colours show up on me so easily. And sometimes I'll tap it off on my hand and then it looks like I got a little bruise there. And only the tiniest bit or you're gonna regret it with this palette. See, this is what happens when I look straight on. The hood just comes down and ruins whatever hard work I've done. So I always have to blend up just that little bit higher on this eye. Oh, oh no. Okay, so the Subculture eye is done. This is what the original look is that I did. Now let's try the second eye with the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. I actually haven't tried this out of my eye, so it might look completely different, but I'm just going off how it looks in the pan. Fingers crossed. So I think the closest possible shade to Roxy in the Subculture palette would probably be Eden. So I'm just going to take that one and put it exactly where I put Roxy on the other eye. So much less pigment with this one, so I can really just dig my brush into that pan. Oh my god. I'm getting another brush for this. I'm getting a different one. There we go, that's better. It'll take a little bit of building up, I think, with this one. That's a pretty similar colour. That's at least one colour that's pretty much the same. That's a good start. It's maybe a little bit more peachy than Roxy, I think. Alright, there's our base for the second eye. The colour I think is probably not really the same as Electric, but probably the closest would be the colour Retrograde. So I'm just going to take that on my finger again. All shimmers I pretty much just use my finger for. This one is definitely more dry and a bit flaky compared to Electric. That's a completely different colour. Okay, that one's not really the same. But if you just want that green sparkle, if this is too much for you, I think this is a better option, but you still get that green effect. Now let's put on that outer colour. I think I'm going to use probably saffron, I think. Maybe mix it with a bit of this shade, which I can't pronounce the name of. There, so saffron gets you that more red tone that All Star has. But just to deepen it up a bit, I'll take the shade that shall not be named, this one, the dark brown, and I'll put that over the top. I think that's pretty close, to be honest. I mean, this is still a really pretty look, even though it's not quite the same. I think these two colours are pretty similar. I think it's just retrograde that's not quite the right match. The other two you can get away with. They're pretty much the same. By mixing those two darker colours together, you get pretty much the same effect as you'll get with All Star. I'm just going to pop a little bit more of retrograde on there. Now I think the issue with this one is because it's a duochrome, you still pick up more of that pinky purple brown that it also reflects, because it's technically a green brown, whereas this one is not a green brown. Alright, there's those two looks done. I'm just going to pop on some mascara. Now I would definitely add some eyeliner with these as well, but since I'm doing 4 looks, I'm not that dedicated. But these are still pretty with just mascara, I think. Alright, so here's the 2 looks with mascara. They are definitely not twins, they're not sisters, they are cousins, but these 2 colours are the same. It's just this one. It's that one gene that separates you. Alright, now I'm going to wipe these 2 off and get started on the next 2. Alright, so on to the second 2 looks. I think I'm going to kind of combine these 2 palettes together because they're pretty much the same thing, just slightly different, and they're so small. I feel like you can find these colours in a bigger palette as well. So these 2 are the Colourpop My Little Pony palette, and then this one is the Depotted Too Faced Life's a Festival palette, which I love the colours in this, but the packaging was not for me. So I'm going to try and mostly use the Colourpop My Little Pony palette. I think the only thing I'm going to use out of this palette is just this colour here, just because it's the closest thing to electric that I own. And this I actually prefer to electric, and I love pairing it with that pink. I don't know which way the names go on the back here, so I think if it's laid out like this way as to how you look at it that way, Flutterby I assume is the colour. Too Faced, you gotta sort your shit. Okay, so I'm just taking Flutterby or Applejack, I'm not sure which one it's called, just all over the lid like we did with the other 2 peach shades. This one takes a bit of building up just like the last one as well, but you can't compete with the pigmentation of Subculture. Oh. Put my mirror on the wrong side. Let's try this again. Now I think this one's a little bit more white based as well than the last 2. Now probably the closest greeny colour we have in the Colourpop palette is this light icy green sort of shade. It's either Firefly or Snuzzle, I'm not sure. Someone tell me how to read the back of this because I have no idea. Now this one's a bit more icy. Again, I think it's just hard to get a match for this colour. The other ones are a bit easier because they're standard matte colours. Finding a match for a pretty shimmer is just the hardest thing. So it's not quite the right colour. It just kind of looks white on camera, but in real life you can see the green tinge to it. But I think I'm going to put Fun in the Sun over the top. I'm just going to put the dark outer colour on first and then see how we go, just so you can see the complete look with just this palette. Alright, so for the dark outer colour, again I think I'm going to do what I did last time and mix 2 colours to get that dark purpley brown colour. So this colour looks really dark, but I'm just going to use like the slightest bit of it. I think mostly I'm just going to use this. Actually, I think I'm going to use this one. Sky Dancer or Minty, I don't know, that one. So I think I'm going to use that one and then just mix in the tiniest bit of that just to darken it up. Okay, so I'm going to get that colour down. And this is like more purpley than the red last time, so we'll see. We'll see how this turns out. But that's half the fun. It's just seeing what happens. Because makeup is a constant experiment. And then I'll pop that dark colour. I'm only taking the tiniest bit of this dark colour. Oh, maybe this is too much. We'll see. Just a little tap. Just to test the waters. Just going to blend it. See how we go. That does not want to blend very well. Okay, this colour kind of sucks, so we're just going to work with it. It's just to darken up that outer, so. And now it's giving me all this fallout too. Great. It's fine. It's fine. I'll move on. I think I'm just going to take the dark purple from this palette and just see how we go. And just hope for the best, because I've never used that colour before, and I will not be using it again. It's fun. It's fun. So we're definitely going to add Fun in the Sun over the top, so let's go. Let's go now. Let's fix this disaster. Let's go. So again, on the finger. Oh yes. That's beautiful. Oh my god, yep. This is like my favourite colour at the moment. I love it. This has saved the whole look. Yes. Oh, that's so much better. Yes. So pretty. Just imagine that outer bit is like a bit more brown than purple and not so patchy and awful. Thank you, Colourpop shade, whatever. Either Twilight or Princess Sparkle, whichever one it is. I hate you. Okay, we're moving on from this this fail. I think this is going to be a fail video, to be honest, because that's how it's turning out. But hey, that's makeup. All right, so that's that look done. It's still a pretty colour scheme happening, besides the patchiness happening. We kind of saved a little bit, but that's what makeup's about. Making mistakes and learning from those mistakes. So the last palette that I'm going to attempt this with, yes, I'm using the word attempt now, is the Kat Von D Saint and Sinner palette. I think the closest colour to the peach that we want would be Sacred Heart, this one here. So I'm going to put that all over the lid and see how we go. Ooh. I'm going to move my mirror now before I forget, like last time. As much as I don't really want to give her my money anymore, they just make good products and it's annoying. Oh no, fucked up already. Oh no. So this isn't technically a matte, I don't think. I think it's got a little bit of a metallicness. Is that a word? Metallicness to it. I guess it's a word now. Now this inner part's going to be interesting because I don't know, because it's technically a matte green shade and then I'm going to put glitter over the top. So you know you love a colour when you have a dedicated brush just to this colour. Why am I so obsessed with greens? Just like this crazy green colour. I use this in my One Palette 4 Looks video and it's literally my favourite colour ever. Oh yes! Oh yes! Look at it, just going over the top of that other colour. Yes. I would wear it just like this, like so good. I'm gonna keep putting more on because I have problems. I have an addiction, leave me alone. Don't judge me. Oh yes. Before this all turns green, because I'm just gonna keep going, I'm gonna move on. That already looks pretty. I think I would wear it just like that. But we're gonna add some glitter just to make it look right. So I'm gonna take, okay, there's the colour, the green. This palette is so big. So there's Exodus, the colour I just used, and then we're gonna put absolution over the top just to make it sparkly and pretty on the finger again. Just to make it a bit sparkly. Doesn't seem to want to go on evenly, but that's fine. Glitter just does its own thing, you know? If you've ever used glitter, which most people have, you know it just does what it wants. The glitter applies itself to you, you don't apply the glitter. So it's definitely like a more subtle, like less metallic-y version, but metallic-y is definitely a word. It's the same colour scheme. I'm not complaining. I think this still looks really good. It's still in the same family. Alright, so for the outer colour, again I'm gonna have to mix it. I'm thinking of taking Rosary and mixing it with Crucifix. I'm just going to use a little flat brush instead for this. I'm just taking Rosary, again one of my favourite colours from this palette. I feel like we're doing a better job than the first one. That retrograde colour just wasn't the right shade, I think. So I'm going to take Crucifix as the last colour. Again, I only take a tiny amount of dark colours because it's too scary. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. Everything's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, everything's fine. That looks okay. Looks a little bit rough because I think my eyelids are like, why have you done this to me? Why have you put two looks on in one day? Because that's what I do. That's cute. That's cute! I actually think this look is probably the closest. Just this shade isn't metallic. I think that's about the only difference. I feel like this is the success here. So I think these looks are finished. I mean, this one's as finished as it's going to be with the mess that happened. So I'm going to chuck on some mascara with these ones as well, and then we'll see how they look. Let's go. Ooh, just jab myself in the eye, it's fine. It's fine. Has anyone else used two different mascaras? One for upper lashes, one for bottom? Because I do. I actually really like this eye. I think that's good. I feel like I should have done the first look and this look together. That would have been good. And then we'd have the two disasters and I could just move on with my life. I still like this look. This look is still pretty. It's just a bit of a mess, that's all. Alright, so here's the second two looks. This one definitely turned out the best.
Now this video was a good experiment. A lot of people these days are saying how all palettes look the same and it's just easy to dupe from the whatever palette that you want. And I think this video clearly shows that you might be able to get a similar colour story, but getting the same finish or the same like quality of shadows across different palettes is not as easy as it seems.
Alright, so that was my 4 palettes, 1 look video. It was an interesting journey. We had some failures, we had some success. 2 out of 4 ain't bad. If you've seen anyone else do this kind of video, please let me know because I'm really curious. And I hope you liked the video. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please comment down below. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, bye! That's a satisfying sound. Alright, so that was my video.